So today I wanted to talk about the Tower card in Tarot. Not actually about the card so much as the Tower moments that we have. You know, every once in a while, it turns out we don't want to hear what Spirit has to tell us. We don't want to hear that we need to make changes. We get the messages, maybe in dreams, maybe through card readings. We get the messages, but we're like, ain't gonna do it. Don't feel like it. No sir, no ma'am. Not cooperating with you. And we're given many chances, usually. And when we still refuse, and it's been determined by the divine that this is what's best for us, then the divine takes it into their own hands. It's divine love, really, although it feels like divine punishment, because Tower moments are chaos, destruction, a tearing down of what is. And it's so that we can rebuild something with a more stable foundation. If you've had that Tower card come up and you know anything about it, it makes you panic to think that it's coming up. Now sometimes it's not all that bad, but sometimes it's catastrophic. And again, it's what's best for us, but it may take a long, long time for us to realize. Sometimes it takes a pretty hard kick in the ass to get us to change our ways. But I did find a couple of spreads that can give guidance about how to handle the aftermath of your Tower moments. I mean, really, if we would make it easier on ourselves, we would just pay attention and do what's best for us. But, you know, we're stubborn bastards. So coming up, I'm going to show you a couple of spreads that I found. And if you've got your own cards, it'll be something interesting for you to try. And if you don't, maybe I'll do a pick a card coming up. Alright, talk to you soon. Okay, we are back with the first Tower Tarot spread, and that's exactly what it's called. The Tower Tarot spread. There are 4 cards, as you can see in the spread, and the first one refers to what changed. So I have 2 cameras going here as an experiment, but this is the 7 of Cups. And I'm going to put it in front of the other camera and see if I can figure out how to do this. You know, you got to play around. I have to play around particularly because I am kind of geeky that way. But the 7 of Cups is talking about needing to see the reality rather than a fantasy. And so in this particular Tower moment, probably reality came slapping this person in the face when they had been fantasizing about a happy cups kind of scenario, and it turned out to be not what they thought it was. So it's basically having to face that they were not seeing the situation as it truly was. The second card in the situation, or the spread, I'm sorry, is how to live with the tarot moment and move on. And that card is the King of Cups. Again, I'm going to move it over here to the other camera so you can get a better shot of this. This is the 8 Coins Tattooed Tarot, by the way. So how to live with it and move on would be to act like the King of Cups, who is emotionally restrained and in complete control of himself and his emotions. So he doesn't let his feelings get the better of him. It's not like he doesn't have compassion and sympathy, but he doesn't let those things rule him. So I guess how to live with it and move on is just to not let it rip you apart, basically. Kind of like one of those, that's life, shit happens things. The third card is what can be learned from this tower change. And that is the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups, unlike the King, is full of genuinely loving energy that he freely lets out. And he lets go of fear and just follows his heart. He's not in control of his emotions. He lets his emotions lead the way. And so he's someone that goes with the flow and sees what life brings. And that's, I guess, what this person would have learned, to not shut themselves off after being hurt so badly, to be open to new opportunities for love. Basically, that it's okay to risk heartache because there are all sorts of opportunities out there. Heartache can be recovered from, and you don't want to close yourself off from what could potentially be the opportunity of a lifetime with someone. And then the last card represents how to release your emotions in a healthy way. And this is the Three of Wands. Hold it up a little straighter there, Peggy. The Three of Wands, I have to check, hold on here, but I believe it's also about being willing to take risks. Yeah, encourages us to explore the unknown and to take a chance on something new and exciting. Don't feel like you have to know all the answers before you're willing to embark on the journey. Understand that there is mystery involved in almost anything and that there's nothing to fear. Take charge and lead yourself and your team to glory. So, it's just being open to new things in life, even though you're not sure exactly what may go down. And that is the first Tower Tarot spread, and I'll be back with the second one in just a minute. And now the Tower Tarot spread number 2 has 7 cards in it, and the first card represents what went wrong. Oddly enough, both these spreads seem to be addressing love. This is the, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of Cups. Let me put it over here in front of the other camera. This is going to be kind of fun. So the Eight of Cups is about being stagnant and bored, depressed and confused, and that it's time to recognize that the past needs to be the past, and it's new journey time. A person should not be afraid of being alone or from wandering for a while, and it is important to leave behind whatever is blocking you. So, what went wrong? This person was probably not ready to be in a relationship, and certainly a good enough reason is not because you're bored and you're feeling like life is stagnant. You know, and if you're depressed and confused, that just kind of messes with everything in life, doesn't it? The second card represents what the person could have done to prevent the Tower moment. And this is the World, which is a little confusing to me, but if we go into the book, it does talk about appreciating all the moments in life, understanding that everything happens for a reason. Sometimes things fall into place and you feel peaceful, but you definitely need to appreciate all the moments in your life and celebrate that you've gotten where you've gotten. It may not be where you thought you'd end up, but you don't want to attack yourself and start criticizing yourself. It's all part of what was meant to be. The third card addresses what the person has learned from the situation. And this is the Wheel of Fortune, which I kind of think of as life is a crapshoot. You know, you get what you get. The Wheel of Fortune does talk about the unexpected, and that no matter how much we plan, we can still be surprised by what the world throws in our path. That we're to stay calm even though we're confused, and learn to enjoy the unexpected. When things don't go as planned, there's still something to be appreciated. If you get knocked off your path, just learn the lessons and move on. The fourth card talks about what the person still needs to learn. And that is the Four of Pentacles, or coins, however you like to think about that card. All right, you're going to have to focus there. Come on, camera. Focus, focus. There we go. Okay. So the Four of Pentacles is a card that addresses us needing to be accountable for our actions and our expectations, and how those can both impact other people in our lives. We don't want to be catering to our ego. And when we cling too tightly to things because we're afraid of losing them, it's a time to step back. And to recognize that we can't control everything. Sometimes there are possibilities we're not seeing. Accepting change is important. So this person has not learned yet not to hold on so tightly. If something's meant to be, if you let go of it, it'll come back if it's meant to come back. The fifth card is the advice for moving forward. And you see we have more cups here. Frankly, I just got new glasses and I'm having a little trouble with them, so pardon me for being a little slow. This is the Five of Cups, and this is the card of heartache, loss, isolation, and mourning. Sometimes life just doesn't go as planned, and we're sad. But it doesn't have to last forever. Learn the lessons and then be willing to hope for new beginnings. You do have to allow yourself to grieve, but you don't want to give up hope. And that is good advice for moving forward. You want to not close your heart off to possibilities in the future. You know, as I think I said before, shit happens. We need to adjust and not close ourselves off to the chance that next time things won't go wrong. You know, if you don't give it a chance, it sure as heck isn't going to happen. Now, the last two cards address what will happen if you heed the advice and what will happen if you don't pay attention. So, what will happen if this person heeds the advice is Nine of Cups. And I finally am learning these enough that I know this is the wish fulfillment card. So dreams and hopes can come true if the lessons are learned. If this isn't all in vain, if you don't close your heart down, you do have a chance at another relationship coming in the future where you will get everything you want. You don't want to lose hope. And then if the advice is not heeded, the card is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 of Wands. I gotta look that one up, sorry. 7 of Wands. It talks about standing up for yourself despite opposition, tensions, fighting for what you want, not veering away from confrontation, and pushing through with competition. If you want to be heard, you have to make some noise, and you don't want to sit quietly on the sidelines as you watch your opportunities slip away. So, I mean, really, I'm kind of interpreting that as there will be confrontation, and you can stand up for what you want with the person that this romance, obviously, went wrong with. But it does mention competition, so there are probably already other people involved with your past person, and, you know, it's certainly not wishes fulfilled and happy ending. So I hope those spreads were valuable to you. These are things that you can try at home, and hopefully I'll remember to put the images in so you can see how the spreads are laid out. If you put them flat on the table, you just don't have the camera capabilities to do that. Thank you so much for visiting. Take care.